So good.
Enjoy.
Yes, ma'am. Now let's take it over to John Bruce.
Trial Tuesday once again, and today we're talking about what happens when alleged incidents don't ever actually go to court. Unfortunately, a lot of times these cases are sexual in nature. And joining me now to weigh in on one particular case is Charleston attorney and a man you can always trust, a man on the up and up, David Aylor. Counselor, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate that. Tell us a little about this situation, because it seems like it's very complex, very involved, and something that would definitely be in the frame of a lawyer or counselor such as yourself.
Right. Well, what you've seen lately, particularly covered by the local newspaper, the Post and Courier, is a couple of different incidents that allegedly occurred within the campus of the College of Charleston, or within that area of the school. And basically, ultimately, one of the cases was dismissed, and another case never was actually even formulated, meaning there was never arrest made. And so you've seen critiques from the families involved of the accusers, basically saying that the case was handled internally and not handled correctly. However, you've seen the College of Charleston come back and say, you know, very strongly and profoundly that they handled it exactly the way they should have, which in my opinion they did.
So they have their own internal police force and investigators there on the campus, but the family is upset that the local authorities were not called in?
Right. I think ultimately what ends up happening in a lot of these cases, even outside of the College of Charleston with other colleges, they do have their own police force, and these police forces under the law actually do the investigations themselves. Right. They didn't like the results of what occurred within these investigations, so they've been critical. However, I must say that these are officers of the law. These are not what you'd say security guards, that sort of thing, any people that are just doing this as a part-time job. These are sworn police officers, and in reality, they take their job just as serious as any other police officer.
So if you think that your son or daughter may have been a victim of this, is there a way to go forward with a legal precedence here?
Well, you always have the civil aspect of it, and
right.
To my knowledge, and I not know any better than just what I've seen in the newspaper, there hasn't been any civil issues. But what it really boils down to is each investigation, no matter if it's within a college or done within the local police department, you're always going to have people that are critical of it on either side. And unfortunately, a lot of these situations, while the victim or the alleged victim may have some sort of version of their story, if they can't put those facts together, no matter how hard they try, then it just can't become a case, because ultimately it'd be dropped anyway.
Yeah, I understand what you're talking about there. Let's talk about when these cases don't go through the court system or through a trial, though. Is it just handled internally and then you have no other recourse?
Well, essentially what happens is it's a police investigation just like any other normal police investigation, and they ultimately leave it open until the point that they can either close it based upon they've had enough facts come together to where they're really disproving, if you will, what's been the allegations have come about. Or on the other hand, they may just leave the case open for an indeterminate amount of time to see if anything else comes forward. But ultimately, your only result then, if there's no criminal case coming, is to look at civil remedies.
Well, there you go. David Aylor, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate you being here, as always.
Glad to be here.
Appreciate your insights. All right, we're coming back with more Low Country Live right after this.